Hi, thank you for stopping by Ballistic BBQ. On this video, I'm going to be cooking up a 21.68 pound beef shoulder clod on the RecTec pellet grill. Let's get going. And here is the star of today's show, 21.68 boneless beef shoulder clod. Love cooking these. It's got a lot of flavor. It's a little bit cheaper than a brisket, but you get some more bang for the buck, and you're going to see why in just a minute. All right, so here it is, all unwrapped, all unfurled. And as you can see, this thing is a monster, much thicker than a brisket, a lot more meat, not as much fat. So the cool thing is you're paying for a lot of servable portions here. You're not going to be trimming away and throwing away a lot of your money. On the underside here, and again, this is boneless, there's a little bit of silver skin that I'm going to remove before we move on to the next step. All right, looks a lot better. As you can see, there are just some beautifully marbled pieces of meat in here. In fact, if we were to fabricate this big primal cutout, we would get a couple flat iron steaks. I think they're also known as shell steaks in some parts of the country. There is, chuck roast in here. There's some short rib meat. There's just a lot of good flavor in here. And if you can't find it under the name beef shoulder clod, I think it's also sold as a chuck clod, chuck roll, like an English roll. There's a lot of names for this thing. First thing we are going to do is get an injection going. What I have here is 3 cups of just a basic beef au jus. And I've mixed in about 1 tablespoon of this Bang & Brisket rub. And this is a rub that's actually sold by RecTec. A lot of good stuff in here. Okay, what I'm going to do is basically just give it an injection, about 1 injection every square inch of this piece of meat. All right, the injection's done. I got that entire 3 cups injected into this piece of meat. We're going to go ahead and add the rub now to the outside using that Bang & Brisket rub. I'm not going to add any oil or anything, which is fine if you want to do that, but there's enough of that injection on the outside that's going to help this adhere. And I'm just going to add this very liberally, and I want to make sure I get it into all the little crevices and cracks, and I'm going to do both sides. All right, that looks great. Next thing we are going to do is get this back in the foil pan. I'm going to cover it, get it in the fridge, allow this to kind of marinate overnight. We're going to get this on the RecTec tomorrow, I don't know, in the probably early afternoon. And this is going to actually cook 20 to 24 hours, which is why I'm really looking forward to trying this out on the RecTec. It's normally getting up every couple hours, checking my fire and everything, so it's going to be nice. Anyway, I will see you out at the patio tomorrow. All right, here it is next day, and we are ready to cook that gigantic beef shoulder clod. Before I do, however, I want to introduce you to the latest addition of the barbecue family here at Ballistic BBQ, and that is my RecTec RT680 pellet cooker. I want to kick this off by talking about the cool factor. These bullhorn handles are probably the coolest thing that I've ever seen on a grill before. I mean, and these are heavy duty stainless steel. There's very little assembly when you receive this, but I had to put these on and I was shocked at how heavy these bullhorns were. Nice touch, RecTec, very cool. The exterior has got a very high quality powder coating to it. Brick red for the lid and for this little chimney topper. Everything else is powder coated in black. Stainless steel badge with their logo, which is again very cool touch. Now mine has this fold-up shelf here, which is an added accessory, stainless steel, and underneath here is a bowl, like a bowl ring for holding a towel. One of the things that RecTec takes a lot of pride in is the consumer getting bang for the buck. They've achieved this by using super high quality materials into the construction of this cooker. Now, the inside of any cooker is going to get most of the abuse. That's where all the heat is, the flames, the dripping grease. And they've used stainless steel in a lot of areas where others don't. The cooking grates are stainless steel. The drip pan is 12 gauge stainless steel. The flame deflector is 12 gauge stainless steel, and the fire pot is 10 gauge stainless steel. They've never had one fire pot burn out yet, and that's an awesome track record for any pellet cooker. Now, most cookers are going to use a 20-pound hopper. RecTec has doubled that. It's got a 40-pound hopper. The other cool thing is these hoppers are bigger, they're larger, so you're not going to get any of the pellets binding up on the sides. They're going to fall right into that auger. And one of the big selling points of the RecTec is what they call the Smart Grill technology, and I'm going to show you their controller. Now, RecTec is using a PID controller to manage the temperature in this cooker. Now, this is the same controller that's used at breweries and also commercial bakeries, extremely precise. And basically, it controls the feed of the pellets, how many pellets are fed, when they're fed, on the interior temperature of the cooker. It also will make adjustments if there's atmospheric conditions like temperature fluctuations outside. A lot of the other cookers are using a simple timer to feed the pellets in, so you don't get that precise temperature control. Wait till you see how easy this thing is. It's ridiculous. Basically, we're just going to power it on. And as you can see right now, it's set for 500 degrees because I was grilling up steaks the other night. So I'm going to go down here. We're going to be cooking at 225. And there we are, we're set for 225. Now to find out what our actual temperature is, I'm just going to push this button here and it'll go up to actual. So interior temperature of this cooker is 85 degrees. Now there's a lot of features that I haven't talked about, including this right here. It's a light switch. It switches the light on inside the cooker. Very cool touch. I would suggest, and I'm going to leave a link down below, it's a video that RecTec actually produced. They've got some awesome information if you really, really want to find out the details on what this cooker can do, the different features. I'm mainly interested in getting to cooking on it. So as soon as this thing rocks up to 2¼ we'll be throwing some meat on. I'll see you in a bit. Cooker's at 225, took about 15 minutes. We're ready to cook. Now, as you can see, the cooking chamber is pretty huge in this thing. It's large enough to cook turkeys, beer can chicken. For those of you who are wondering, this is non-stick cook mats. These things are cool. I wish I would have found them years ago. Now, as I said before, this is going to be a very long cook, 20 to 24 hours. So by the time this whole thing is done, this end piece, the thin piece, it'll be perfect for like pulled beef, you know, shredded beef. Go ahead and get a wireless thermometer in here. And we are cooking. Now, as far as temperature is concerned, I'm going to start checking this at about 180, and I'm just looking for doneness. I'm waiting until a probe will go in and come out without any feeling, like when a brisket's done. I found that usually that occurs at about 190 to 200 degrees. Now, after 4 hours of cooking, I'm going to start mopping, and I'm going to use that same au jus rub mix that I injected this beef with. So again, that's going to start at 4 hours. Anyway, guys, this is truly trial by fire on this thing. An overnight cook on the RecTec. I'll see you tomorrow. All right, it is tomorrow. The meat is done. It's at 197. I just tested it for tenderness, and it is good to go. Let's check this out. Beautiful bark. And check this out. It's just meat jello. It's going to be good. Anyway, let me tell you what led up to this. After that first 4 hours, I started the mop. After that, I was mopping it every 1 to 2 hours. I was more or less just checking it when it needed mopping. When it started to look like it was getting a little dry, I mopped it. After 8 hours, I flipped it, continued mopping it right up until I went to bed. In the morning, I flipped it back and again started the mopping. We hit 151 stall. It was at 151 when I woke up this morning, and it rode that stall. It seemed like forever. And wait till I tell you how long this cook took. It took 23.5 hours. I could have foiled it and accelerated the cooking time, but I wanted to put this RecTec through the test. It needed to be battle proven, and it has proved itself. This was just unbelievable how well this thing performed, and I cannot wait to try this out. Normally, you know, I'm a stick burner at heart, and I actually enjoy, you know, the science of trying to figure out the right airflow and everything to get that temperature perfectly balanced. But I have to tell you, it was kind of nice taking my son out to lunch, knowing that this thing was going to be okay. It was kind of cooking itself. Going to bed without having to wake up every couple hours to make sure the fire was still lit or wasn't out of control. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is pull this off the pit. I'm going to take it in the house, just loosely foil it, and I'm going to let it rest for about 30 to 40 minutes, and then we'll slice this up and make some sandwiches. See you in a bit. And here we are, looking beautiful, smells so good, ready to carve into this bad boy. So, like I said before, this little point here, I like to cut that off and then shred it. So let's go ahead and cut that off. Look at that. It's juicy. You'll see it just falls right apart. There's a lot of connective tissue in this cut, and we eliminated all of that by just that nice, slow, methodical cook. We cooked it into submission, so to speak. So let me go ahead and get this into a bowl. And there you go. Just take a look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful smoke ring. Set that off to the side here. Nice ring. So let's go ahead and get this sliced up. I'm going to make a pulled beef sandwich and then also some sliced beef sandwiches. Now let's make some sandwiches. Okay, now for some of that pulled beef. All right, a little barbecue sauce. We're just going to rock this old school here. Potato buns, by the way. Now for this pulled beef, I have here it's a gourmet sauce that, believe it or not, RecTec actually sells. Tastes really good. It kind of has this, like a Carolina kind of a vibe to it, I guess. It's a little thinner than the other one. Has a little bit of a kick. Nice, nice. Wouldn't be proper if I didn't try both of these out. Someone's got to do it. Go with this one here first. That's just gorgeous. I mean, I'm in heaven right now. You know, I was saying meat jello outside, and I'm not lying. It's just so soft, but it's not mushy. Let's give this pulled beef a try here. A lot of smoke in the pulled beef. Very similar to, like, you know how burnt ends on a brisket would have that more concentrated smoky flavor, just like that. Anyway, guys, thanks again for stopping by. Had a lot of fun cooking on the RecTec. I plan on doing some more pellet cooks. Again, I'm kind of just dipping my fingers into this some new water, so to speak. But I will see you on the next video. Keep those requests coming. Cheers.